Live now. Stringing some more simple scripts. On focused display and bringing windows to mouse position. Something like that. And alrighty. Let's see here. Send a test message, make sure that's working. Yep, okay. So, oops. Just to show what I had open there, I just wrote a script that I called OpenOBS. And what this does is it launches a folder off of my network drive. And essentially all it is I just edit OpenOBS, that brought this into focus on my other monitor. Maybe I could actually change my edit script so that it brings the code editor to focus on your current monitor. I haven't, now that we have that logic in place. So all this script does is opens under my volumes John Linquist public folder. It's just a folder on my Mac Mini, which I use for streaming. And before or whenever I make a recording, like I'll always do like a test 5-second record to check that my audio is working right before I start streaming. And then I can just fire up OpenOBS and that'll launch this folder. Like even if it's completely shut, I can just open OBS and that folder just pops open so I can check the recording on this machine. Again, one of those just time savers that that I'll use, like I'll use this every single day and I don't have to remember anything. I just have to remember to open OBS. And you can do that with any folder on your system. If you have a folder you open a lot, you can just add a command to open that folder and open if you pass in a path. I recommend using quotes for things with spaces in them. If you pass in a path, it'll just open that in Finder. So, or, you know, it'll use the appropriate application if you, whatever other thing you pass in there. So, that's that open OBS command. And yesterday, where I got to at the end of the night, I made this DancingWindow script where I can I'll pick this OpenOBS window, and this will make the window like move around the page. So it brought it into focus as the frontmost window, and it's making it dance around the page. You can actually type in there and stuff. So like it has keyboard focus, and you could try and work like that, but let me undo my typing. So that's where we got to, and that was mostly like a stress test. If I edit DancingWindow, you'll see that the pieces it puts together are get windows, focus windows, set window position, and set window size. So the first arg that pops up when I do DancingWindow, so this shows all my windows that are open. So I have two codes, or two Chromes, two codes, an iTerm, activity like Slack and Restream Chat. And it lets me pick one. I'll just exit out of that. And then the selection that I get from that, so that's run inside of this function. and that returns the process and the title based on the windows, because windows have processes and titles on them. And then I can focus a window based on the window process and the title, and then I can set the window size. Again, this like selects that window. Based on the way we're doing it in AppleScript, there was no like IDs of windows. So right now, all those methods are using the process name of the window and the title of the window. In the future, I think I'll look into ways of finding an ID, and I think that's like through ObjectiveC or some other method. There's like some APIs that could expose a window ID, but this is working for now, so we'll just kind of hang on to that. And then it's just awaiting a set window position inside of a while loop, and lets that thing dance around. I used to have a timer in there, but it looks like as fast as it was moving was as fast as I could get it to move. So I'm actually kind of curious if I just do like let's see, if I did like, let's comment that out, at x equals 0. I wonder how fast it would go if I just did x plus plus. And y can just be negative 1000. I was meaning to try this out last night, but I never got around to it. Dancing window, and so that window, is that not? Interesting. That script should have stayed open. Let's see if it errors out or something. Okay, so it's just kind of scooching little by little. So this would be great fun prank to play on a coworker. Just have their window constantly moving over. You could try and move it back, and it would just like keep on like running away from where it is. Anyway, be nice to your coworkers. They work hard. Alrighty. Wow, I must have a lot of tabs open. I've never seen that scroll behavior in VS Code happen before. Alright, I'm just going to leave that as a silly script too, if people want to play with that. So another combination I want to do is like focus on like to bring even more things together. I have a script, it's like list Chrome tabs, and I need to extract some of these into just helper functions. So I'm gonna grab this. Curious if it works right now. If I launch this list Chrome tabs. So it looks like there's a Chrome tab that doesn't have a title. You can see I have some Twitter and GitHub and lots of GitHub open. And if I select one, let's select this one, that focused on this. Let's try Stack Overflow. Is that going to focus? Yeah, I'll need to work on this. Select Chrome tab. Oh, runs. Yeah, I don't recommend using run anymore. I'm using... Let me extract these pieces out so it makes more sense. So this one I want to get it so that it's pushing out JSON. That's something I figured out when writing the other scripts, was exporting JSON from a from AppleScript, and that'll be really helpful here. Whereas before I was just like, looks like I was splitting on tab characters. So let's get this to a point. Yeah. Okay. Gonna leave that over there. And I'm gonna create a file in my temp directory, like just some one I can throw away. I'm gonna call this tabs AppleScript. And this can be a shebang file, user bin ososcript. Ososcript is the tool that runs AppleScript. So if I chmod this, tabs AppleScript, now I can execute this file. Whoops. And you can see it outputs everything. And the goal here is to output valid JSON data, which I can parse and use, rather than right now it's just giving a string, and these are all delineated by, or delimited, I guess, by tabs. So I'm going to bring in, wow, let me close these other tabs, close others, so it stops scrolling like that. So I have this helper up here, which I'm gonna have to inject into all of my scripts that return values. And this allows me to like work with JSON data, and it's essentially like a string builder more than anything else. I don't really think of it as a parser or anything. It's really just building up a string, and since JSON's a string, it works just fine. Let me scooch all this. There's no, I don't think I can format this. Yeah, there's no format for AppleScript. I wonder if there's more, I think more AppleScript extensions. Yeah, no. At least I have language, the syntax. All right, so to start off with, the JSON is just an empty string, and anytime I call add pair, it adds a key and value, a key and an escaped value, in case there's a quote in there. And then anytime I've added all the pairs in, then I can finalize it into an object, and then once it's finalized into an object, I can finalize it into an array of objects. So I think if I do these add pair, I think it will work like this. URL, the URL, I guess the URL of the tab. I think that handles that line. And V's, so if you think of V as like an object with properties on it, and the way you access them are with V's, which cracks me up, but such is the way of AppleScript. Title to the title of the tab, and then we found a JSON helper this morning, an external app. Let me see what that is. Directly from AppleScript. This parses JSON supplied by your straight into AppleScript record or list. Interesting. I will check this out. later for sure. Your script debugger worked? Wonder why mine failed. Oh. But I guess it did install, even though it said to move it to the trash. Huh. No, that's very helpful. Interesting. Yeah, I will check this out for sure. I think right now, since I have like this flow that works, I will stick with this, but I'll definitely bring these into, and if you have anything to share, like as far as like gists or repos or anything, I'd love to see that, but I will check this out for sure later. Yeah, I'll have to check out, like I was playing around with some AppleScript ObjectiveC as well, so I'll have to see what some of these things are. Oh, wow. Maybe I should just drop this in there. You got me too curious. Where'd it go? Okay, I don't need any of the ObjectiveC stuff though. The variable URL is not defined. Okay. That was already helpful. Let's see. Set tab data to tab data and the URL. Oh, so let's keep this one. And this can be the URL. Oh, maybe I don't need that because I might just not need this line at all. Oh, is it showing changed lines? Yeah, this looks great. Oh, that might be a huge lifesaver for me. Yeah, thank you. I will use that for sure. Especially some other things I was trying that I think you saw how miserably I failed at some of this stuff. So I'm going to say finalize object, and after this, finalize JSON, and then get these JSON. I think that's how I've been running it. This allow me to, okay. All right, thanks for dropping in. This looks like, that looks valid. Let me bring that into a code window. You can just change the language mode. I'll change JSON and then try and format it. So that worked. So there's the URLs and the titles of those URLs. I wonder if there's more data we can pull out of the tab list. So again, this is accessing the application Google Chrome, getting all the windows, and then getting all the tabs of every window. So right now, it might be important. Well, It might be important to group these by window. I didn't even think about that. Because right now when we're focusing, we're passing in a process name and a title name. But maybe that won't matter. So window list. So this language is called AppleScript. Right now I'm working on a project called SimpleScripts that will allow you to automate anything on your system. And AppleScript is what you use to inspect windows and other things on the system. So I'm writing wrappers around AppleScript because I wouldn't expect anyone to write AppleScript themselves. But right now I'm like getting all the like the end goal of the stream is to list all of the tabs and then like list all of your Chrome tabs you have open across all the instances of Chrome, and then focus on a tab that you have. Like if you have 3 windows of Chrome, one's on another screen, and there's a tab you have open in there, like bring that tab into focus on Chrome and then bring that window like underneath your mouse, like doing that sort of automation. Right now I'm cleaning up some of the AppleScript so it can return like better data for me to parse out. And this tool is called Script Debugger. It's actually my first time using it. It's interesting, the windows have bounds on the Chrome windows. And this window has a window ID. That's not the case on all windows. Zoomable, resizable, name? Oh yeah, JSON helper is the one I just opened up. Okay. Let's see, active tab. Yeah, the project's going pretty well so far. I'm shooting for 1.0 next week or so. Like if you haven't seen it at all, it's launching as Mac only for the 1.0, but eventually it'll come to other systems. But yeah, I'm gonna, like, this is in beta and things will break, but you can see some of the scripts and like possibilities by hitting up. Whoops, I should send that to everywhere. Like looking at some of this stuff, and how, like, looking at these scripts will give you a better idea of how kind of the batteries and helpers fit together scripting wise. All right, kind of get back on task here. This is returning good JSON now, and then let me bring this back into I was going to create a Chrome, and this can be get tabs, something like that. And result would be AppleScript, and then the string raw of the script that I copied. And since that's now JSON, it wasn't JSON before, we can now return the JSON. Whoops, that's a sublet. Now return JSON parse of the results. I think that'll handle that. So if in my list Chrome tabs, I think here I can import Chrome, and then I can tabs. And I can replace all of this with just await get tabs. And then that obviously makes things much simpler here. And so like one of the big goals of simple scripts is to provide these sorts of helpers where you can just kind of like load them in as little plugins. So I don't necessarily want to write a bunch of scripts for people, but I want to give them like the pieces to put together of what they might want to do. Like I don't know what you'd want to do in the end of the day with all of the tabs of Chrome. But I know for me, it's like a useful scenario to be able to get all the tabs. So it's one of those tools I want to provide. Let me just make sure that this is working here. And this one's list Chrome tabs, yeah. List Chrome tabs. All right, so that came through as proper JSON. Let me see if it's... So right now, you can run scripts from either the terminal, so you saw list Chrome tabs there, or you can run it from this helper app, so list Chrome tabs here. And if you consider one of these an arg, so if you say select tab, and inside of here, I'm going to move get tabs into here. This way you can return names and values, like an array of name and values. So tabs map, I think there was it titles and, oh, I can just look at this, a URL and a title. Yeah, AppleScript is Apple systems only. Once I move this over to Windows and Linux, I'll have to figure out what sort of things I can port, or maybe there's some common system between accessing other apps that I can work on, but I just can't, like I don't have the brain power to work on all of those at the same time. So just focusing on Apple stuff for now. So this is a tab, and we're going to return, the name can be the tab title, and the value would be the tab URL, I guess. So if we pop this open, you'd see all the tab titles. And when I select one, whatever comes out of this selection would be this value, so this tab URL. And then I have this other script, Chrome tab, which I need to refactor as well. So I can get rid of this, get rid of this. And then, do I have Chrome tab installed? Do. Okay. So I'm going to extract all of this over into my Chrome. This can export, let focus Chrome tab. Maybe just focus tab. It's coming from a file named Chrome, focus tab. And this can, so this isn't going to return anything. And this needs to be async. I've learned my lesson that these all need to be raw strings in case you're working with escape characters or something. So enter URL. So this will be the URL that comes through here. URL. And then it essentially opens, it activates Chrome, and then it looks through all the windows, and then it looks through all of the URLs of the tabs, and then it finds if it checks to see if this URL is already open, and if it is, then it sets that index to 1, which or set the active tab index to that that tab, and if it's not open, then it opens a new one, which wouldn't, because we're listing out the Chrome tabs, it wouldn't work in this scenario. But so let's try that for now. Bring in focus tab, and then focus tab, and then the selection is the URL, and then that's the URL. And if I list Chrome tabs, let's try this one. That fails somewhere. So it's definitely one of those things where things can fail silently, so I need to be aware of what's going on. I don't even think that activated Chrome. Let me see from the terminal if that threw an error. So if I type, it's kind of a mess of titles because I have a bunch of like GitHub things open. We'll try this palette one. Expected end of line but found unknown token. Okay, so that's usually something like in here. Let me see. I have this thing where it so the last Apple script I tried to run, so the one that failed, it writes out to this file so I can test it out. Whoops. And we'll test that out in the script debugger. Found unknown token. Oh, maybe I don't have to escape these anymore because I'm doing the raw string. Okay, so that worked. I think the script debugger grabbed focus back. So it looks like my issue was I now switched to using over in my Chrome file, string raw means I don't have to escape these when passing this to the AppleScript runner. So yeah, string raw is an interesting tool where it's one of those template tags you can run on one of the template literal strings that if you're working with things that usually need to escape or something, like you can just ignore them. So let's try this again. And we'll try to focus on whatever this OSX box bootstrap is. Okay, so that brought this window to the front, and that seemed to work. So let's go to, let's make this more obvious. So this can have Google and Twitter, and what's another site? We'll risk pulling Reddit up. So now you can see that Reddit's at the front, and if I list Chrome tabs, I want to select Google, which is on a separate window and on a separate tab that you can't see. So it's like hidden over here, right? But if I select this, that brought that window forward, and it also brought Google forward. And if I list Chrome tabs here and I pick Reddit, that'll bring that window forward. So let's just have Stack Overflow. And now we'll try and open Twitter, list Chrome tabs, we'll say Twitter, and that brings Twitter forward. And now we'll try and bring list Chrome tabs, we'll bring Reddit open again. So you can see it's bringing it forward and then switching the tab to the appropriate tab. So that seems like it's working like a charm. And that's the like kind of the magic of wrapping these single-use Apple scripts inside of these functions, is that the end script for someone who wants to write a script looks something like this, where instead of displaying the title, if I want to display the URLs, it would look like URLs now, and now you could search by URL, which might make more sense, honestly, because I don't know how many people actually see the titles. Yeah, that's thanks. I think it's really useful too. It's something that has taken a lot of work to put together and build, but it's gonna be cool when it's out. Alrighty, so I think I prefer the URLs. Although if I have like yeah, I don't use Vim. I have opinions on Vim, and they stem from what Carabiner can provide over Vim, and yeah, I have opinions on Vim. I have used Vim, and I choose not to use it. We'll say it that way. So these two would look the same, and if I started filtering them out, then like that's off screen. Yeah, someday it'll come to Windows. It'll take a while, but it'll come someday. Conceptually, or like a lot of the parts already work on Windows, but I would imagine there would be so many edge cases that it's not worth shipping. Like the script stuff works on the Windows Bash end of things, and people even I tweeted at Scott Hanselman, who's like the Windows guy as far as I know, and he said that using the Bash for Windows is definitely something he'd recommend, and this runs really well on the Bash for Windows, so it's definitely something that can work. Let's see, list Chrome tabs. What would the title look like though? Should I put the tab title plus the tab URL? Like with the dash in between or something? Oh, oops, that's the value. I put that on the wrong spot. So tab title plus tab URL. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay. Sweet. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And that cleaned up a lot of that, the Chrome helpers. I wonder if something I need to check on is the idea of a focused window. So right now, if this was, so say I wanted to open Google and I had this on another monitor, and I ran this script, I hit Google, I focused on the other monitor, but you don't see it on mine. So I'm going to try and bring this window, like if it's on a separate monitor, bring it over to the monitor that has focus. And that's something I'm going to have to reach into the app to do. AppleScript doesn't have a straightforward way of telling which monitor has focus, or like knowing the mouse position, things of that nature. I think you can wrap some ObjectiveC inside of AppleScript. You could definitely write some like small command line tools, I think. But I think what I'm going to do, rather than even trying those approaches, is the app itself, so the SimpleScripts app, knows, has that information. So I can request, I have it somewhere in like, screens, what did I call it? So in here, you can kind of see the things that, I can't remember what I called this. Get screen info. There's a communication channel between the app and the scripts that the app runs. And that's using IPC, like any two node processes, however you want to pronounce it, set up a channel where they can communicate and pass JSON data back and forth. So when the app launches a script, it can, the script can, yeah, I think you're right. It does make sense to leave the window on the monitor it was on. So like, I'm not writing the script as this is what I would do. I'm writing the script as maybe someone has a different scenario where they have a different app they want to move to where the cursor is. And it's also like, I just like to stress test some of these things, because there's definitely areas where you'd want to launch an app and bring it to close to where your cursor is, or whichever window has focus. So I'm just playing with this scenario as, you know, something to try that out. So this right now is getting the active screen. So say for example, if you wanted to move the window to the left half of the screen and resize it to the left half of the screen, you'd have to know which is the active screen to do that. So yeah, this isn't just about Chrome. This is about any application. And I know with I know a lot of people work on multiple monitors and aren't great at tracking where windows are. Or some people just work on a single laptop. So just depends on their tastes or preferences. So I think what I want to do, this is the active screen. I think that's enough for right now. I don't think I need to know where the mouse is. I'll probably set up, let's see. Get mouse. I'll probably set up I'll fix all these errors, don't worry. I know red might bother some people who are looking at the screen right now. I'll probably set up I just want some way of getting the mouse position. I know someone's going to want to know, how do I, like, let me do something with the mouse position. And I think it's electron, I think it's on screen. Wow, these docs are small. Get cursor screen point. Is that all the information about the mouse? I can't think of any other information about the mouse other than it's like an XY coordinate. So screen, get cursor screen point. Yeah, we're just returning the cursor there. Cannot redeclare. We'll call this one mouse cursor. And I'm just going to leave that there for now. I don't think I'll use it right now, but I definitely see the case for that. So the other one is get screen info. So let's go ahead and let's see. I wrapped that in something. I can't remember what it was. GetActiveScreen. So yeah, and let me set up while I'm thinking about it, get mouse position. And this was get mouse and get screen info. We'll call that mouse for now. So if you can kind of see how these two talk to each other, where it's sending get mouse, and then this lands on this case, and then it sends back an object with from mouse with some data on it, and then this receives on that message. There's a message handler, and it receives mouse. So it's just like a kind of a one-shot message, and then it closes that that message handler. But right now I want to get the active screen. I'm gonna put that in this Chrome tabs. Screen. Let me just make sure that this is working by itself. So over in the terminal, list Chrome tab should just log out a screen. Oh yeah, I have to do this from. Let me do it this way. This is one of those things where I forget that one of the big goals was that every script I write should be able to run equally as well in the terminal as it does from the app. But there's going to be a few where you're getting like the screen and the mouse and other things that I may be able to set up like a secondary communication, but I do that in the future. Like right now, you'd have to launch this from here. And okay, so this gave me all of this information. The active screen. This is the screen you're looking at. The bounds is the offset of. If you look at my display arrangement, you can see you're looking at this screen, and that X offset is off the offset off of the main window, which is my screen, my laptop screen underneath this one. And then the width and height. And I don't think I'd use anything else in there. But I can position the window based on based on the bounds for sure. So let's grab so that was just bounds. And can you just get the bounds like this? And then inside of our desktop script, I'm going to try and set set window position. Maybe I'll just call this window and have it be set position. I think that might make more sense. I think all of these are window type scripts. So set window position in list Chrome tabs. I'll need to import desktop and set window position and set window position. It's going to be Chrome, and I'm going to need the I'm actually going to need the title for this. So I'm going to need the full tab value here, where this can be the tab, and that's the tab URL, and I need this can focus on the tab title. And right now, let's set it to the let's get some values off of bounds. So bounds has X, Y, and a width and a height. So X, Y. So let's set this to X 100, Y 100. I think that'll push it down, like push it to the right and down. Because I think negative Y, since it's offset off something beneath it, is pulling things up. So I think this would pull Chrome over to like the upper left-hand corner, but like with some padding. Let me make that a little smaller, like 50. And then let's move the... So we want to open Google. I'll pull this to my other screen. And then if I list Chrome tabs, I hit Google. All right, so that did not set the window position. So let me see what it did here. Oh, that didn't even get this far. It didn't try and run an Apple script there. Let me try. Let me pull up I have a console log file for just this scenario. List Chrome tabs, Google. It's not pulling that up. Let me try this. Inspect bounds. List Chrome tabs, Google. It's failing before it gets there. Okay, so X, Y, width, height, that worked. don't see why that wouldn't work. X and Y. So maybe it's just this. Let me see what the tab title is. So here and it might be that tab title it's failing. Tab title. Let's just log out the entire tab. Set window position. Process title. Oh, you know what it might be? It might be this is Google Chrome. I wonder if that's what was going on. It's like it's not even getting to, it's not getting past focus tab. I guess maybe because focus tab isn't returning anything, could be why. All right. No, it's still not. It's still not doing it. It's not firing off my little inspect either. There's something silently failing between here and there. Like, because that runs fine. You know, maybe I just need to, there's no result. So maybe I need to return a result from the script. No result. Activate, return, I don't think you can return a value from here. Oh, okay. So maybe that. Maybe it's because the Apple script isn't returning a value. Let's try that. Chrome and return address. Return address. Huh, that it's still not popping up that inspect. Let me try that from the terminal. because right now I'm not requesting any of that position stuff, so I can run this one from the terminal. Good. So that worked. Oh, yeah, I know what's happening. Wow, this is an interesting scenario. So, something that I did intentionally, and that sometimes this escapes me when I'm moving stuff around. Whenever the app loses focus, it immediately ends the process. So you see that if I type this, like there's still a process running underneath it. And as soon as I hit enter and something else jumps to the front, it is killing this process. And hey, how's it going? So the process is done because I don't want that. I want to like aggressively end any process that's run by the app, so there's nothing like stray running around. So I maybe like I hadn't really considered this idea of I'm going to bring something in front of the app itself and then run another script, because right now this will kill it because the app loses focus. So I can't do anything after that. You know, I could do that before. Like I already have that data before it. So we could try this. Again, the Google Chrome is on my other monitor, so on the inactive screen, or the Chrome window. Okay, so there we go. That worked. You can see it moved to like 50-50, so like 50 down from the top of the screen and 50 from the left. If I wanted it to be 50 from like the toolbar, there is that, I think it's the work area. I think this will nudge it down a little bit more. Yeah. So now it looks more like 50 from the left and 50 from the top, whereas before, or 50 from the toolbar at least. So that can work. It's just that as soon as I run this and it focuses that window, then the process has to end because the app is losing focus. I'll need to like document that sort of thing. I do have plans with simple scripts to enable a long running process where you could do cron jobs and listen for, you know, time of day or triggers on your machine, you know, log outs or whatever. Wi-Fi detected, I don't know what else. Use that to trigger scripts, but for 1.0, it's all going to be manually selecting and triggering one process at a time, and that process ends as soon as the app ends or app loses focus. So, but yeah, this is working pretty well. So if I move this to, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it over to another monitor, which you can't see, and you saw that Google wasn't selected. And if I select Google from here, that brought that to the exact position I wanted on the monitor that I wanted. And now it's exactly like, and that tab is focused. So that's a nice workflow. And it shows how a few of these things all work together. So that'll be cool to share. And it was good to extract those Chrome scripts out. And I need to take into consideration like some sort of I guess I don't need to end the script when the app loses focus, but it becomes much harder to end a script. I guess I could always end the preceding script like the next time you open the app, but that seems a bit weird to me too. I don't know. So that looks pretty good, and I think that covers like the on simple scripts dev. I think it covers a lot of these ones that had AppleScript kind of exposed. So it covers this one. I extracted that into focus tab. This one, I extracted that into, yeah, that one's focus tab. List Chrome tabs is under that, just get tabs. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll work just fine. And it's weird where that was like the goal of the stream was to get that far. So I think I'll kind of shut it down from here. What I'm going to do over the weekend is refactor a lot of this stuff so that when people install it, there's kind of a core folder which will have the config and the node modules and the preload, and some of that stuff that's under version control, have that in one folder, and then all these folders that aren't under version control, the ones that users would manage, like scripts and the temp folder and the database folder, let the users decide how to manage those and how they want to save that stuff. And that'll be a huge step towards getting this released, hopefully the end of next week. I haven't done too much with templates other than using them for the tests. I'll probably bring that in the core folder. Tests will probably be in core. I want to refactor some of these bash scripts. Like, this is back from when I originally started on the project months ago, and I was just starting it in bash. I think I can extract these into some node scripts that other people might understand, because not many people like know the ins and outs of bash, and I don't expect people to. This will be in core as well, because I want to manage these ones. That'll be user managed, cache will be user managed. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, thanks for hanging out today. Have an excellent weekend, and always be